Rock Guys would like to welcome Tony West, Blacklist Union. Hey, man, what's going on? What's up?
How are you?
Great. Tell me a little bit about the background and history of Blacklist Union.
Well, I mean, we've had quite a checkered past, so to speak. I put the band together 9 years ago. We started writing. We were actually writing our first CD right when they had killed Dimebag, man, and I always remember that specifically. But I spent a lot of years in Hollywood auditioning for bands, and running into people that were looking for perfection or the perfect situation or the perfect singer or the perfect this, the perfect that, and there is no perfection, So I took it upon myself to, form my own band and play the kind of music that I kind of want to hear. So.
Right. And your first CD was After the Morning in 2006. Yeah. And like reading reviews today and stuff, all I see is 5 stars. CD Baby, 5 stars. And then you went Breaking the Bread with the Devil in 2008 at 5 stars. Now, third album, Till Death Do Us Part. 5 stars. Ooh, you got a new album coming up, and what can people expect?
Well, you can expect 5 stars.
Cool.
But man, I mean, really, we're a no bullshit kind of band. We know what's happening and we know why. We have a pretty good pulse on what's going on. But, with us, we don't have to answer to any suits. There's no suits up in our creative process.
Cool.
We're free to, make art the way we believe it should be made and the way we would make it. Our producer, Chris Johnson, is like the 6th member of the band. He's been a huge part of the development and, the growth and evolution of Blacklist Union. But he allows us to be ourselves, and one thing, every single song, I mean, you name a song, I'll tell you specifically what experience that is in my life. Every song is an experience in my life that truly happened. Like, it's not contrived to sound cool or whatever. I'm a wordsmith, don't get me wrong. Steven Tyler is a big influence on my lyric writing, but, I think words are magical, and I definitely have a knack for writing words, When I was in high school, I went to high school in Yonkers, New York, but I had this English teacher from Ireland, and I would do the assignments. Like, he would give us writing assignments, and I would do them because I just used to like to write,
Right.
His name was Mr. Mitchell, and I remember, he was like, why aren't you coming to class? And I was like, well, I got better things to do, Mr. Mitchell. I'm hanging out with my friends, and
right.
He was like, you're a brilliant writer. You should come to class. And, I've always enjoyed writing, point being is, it's just been something that's very natural for me, so.
Right. Well, in school, really, you're kind of like, I mean, even like, you're doing your writing and you're doing stuff you love, but like in school, like they're going to tell you what you have to write about. Like, say here's a story, I want you to write about the American flag or whatever. Don't like me. I'm a photographer on the side and got covers of magazine. Yet in school, I got an F in photography because I didn't want to do what they wanted me to do. Do you feel the same way in music?
Absolutely, dude. I mean, a big problem with music today is that you have too many people who should not have their nose poking in the creative process, involved with the creative process. And the reason why there's no Queen, Zeppelins, AC/DCs, Aerosmith, dude, is because back in the day when those bands were doing it, like, nobody went in and told Freddie Mercury, like, dude, Bohemian Rhapsody is too long. You should take out the Mamma Mia part. I don't think it's going to work. Radio's not going to pick. Like, they allowed them to do what they wanted to do. So that's been happening so long in music that it does not come across as authentic. It's like manufactured, and people pick up on that in a split second. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, I mean, that's one thing we pride ourselves on, is we don't have to answer to anybody, you know what I mean? We just kind of pave our own road and path, and it's been quite a long, fun, crazy journey, but I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Right. Doing most of the stuff on your own, don't you feel there's a benefit than being dictated from, like, a major label?
I mean, yeah, every situation is different, too. I mean, Alice in Chains certainly wasn't being told how to write their songs, you know what I mean?
Right.
But I can guarantee you Justin Bieber is, you know what I mean? So, every situation is different. You don't have to necessarily have somebody like that, but, most kids that sign record deals don't know any better.
Right.
And they're like, oh, we're going to sign this record deal, blah, blah, blah. And, they're really out to take as much as they can get.
Right.
You know what I mean? And we're savvy to all that stuff. We've been around the block, man. We've had a record deal and walked away from it because it was bullshit. We've been offered numerous record deals where, our first question is, okay, we're not looking for a grip of money up front, but we need tour support and marketing. What's that about? And, people start saying, oh, well, and then we're like, okay, well, thank you for your interest, but that's not going to work for us kind of deal,
Right.
I mean, it's just, the music business is definitely a trip.
Right. Is it also true that, like most major labels, before you sign a contract, they own part of your record?
I mean, yeah, dude. I have a friend in a pretty big band, dude, that you would definitely know who they are, and they're huge. You hear them on sports stadiums, games, whatever it is. And I remember one time I was talking to him, and he said to me, "Well, we only get 8% of our record sales," and I started laughing,
Right.
Because I thought he was kidding.
Wow.
And he goes, "No, man, I'm serious. That's what we get." And I was like, what about the other 92%, dude? He's like, oh, well, Interscope gets that. I'm like, what? That's like highway robbery, man.
Right. Right.
So you get, but not every deal is different. There's not one. I mean, they definitely have a protocol they follow, but every deal is different, and everything's open also to negotiation.
Right. Well, back in the '80s, like bands like you said, Queen and stuff, which I don't ever foresee a huge band again like them guys or Queen or whatever, Aerosmith and stuff like that. But still, in today's day, you really got to jump ahead of I guess the media or whatever, because you got the internet now. You got other forums and stuff that weren't back in the day. Don't you feel that's a plus for you?
Man, it's kind of a double-edged sword because there's so much, like any kid, dude, can record on their home studio and put something out. So what happens is that the market gets saturated with stuff that is not even close to being professional. So you have to weed through all that stuff. And, of course, it's word of mouth. It definitely helps. We have fans. We were like #1 in Poland or something weird. Like, I've never even been there, but it definitely helps. But at the same time, I don't think it helps live music as a whole, because people are on Facebook and they think those are their real friends and that those are their social life, and nobody's getting up and going out anymore. That's caused a huge rift in live music and live entertainment everywhere around the world.
Right.
So it's kind of like a double-edged sword. It has its benefits, it has its negatives.
Right. You feel the future is downloading?
I mean, yeah, dude. Basically at this point, if any musician knows, you're gonna have to basically give away your music and then recoup on touring and merchandising and stuff. Right.
Does that bother you a lot?
No, it doesn't bother me at all. I mean, some people I know it bothers, but for me, I mean, really, there's nothing I can do about it except figure out the ins and the outs and kind of roll with it.
Right. What about merchandising? I know that's huge for a band, and especially touring and merchandise and CD sales, through your own website and stuff like that. That's definitely a plus, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. When you go out on tour, do the clubs or venues pretty much treat you pretty well and then feed you good?
I mean, again, it depends. Each situation is different.
Right.
I have my rule of thumb on the road is that we go in, we're very humble, we're very polite, we're, that's our attitude. Like, we don't think we're better than someone because we play music, and
right.
I go out of my way to say hello to the sound guy, because believe me, man, you want to be friends with the sound guy, like the guy, and I learned that the hard way too, but we're very personable, and for the most part, we've run into great people, and there's always been exceptions. One guy, before we had a manager, I was like the spokesman, and it didn't always work because I had to take the fall or the heat for things.
Right.
And one guy in Janesville, Wisconsin, I had to chase this guy out of his own club down the street to give us the money that he owed us.
Wow.
It's like, and then we went and actually played for him again last year when we were on tour, and we ended up walking out because the guy didn't want to pay us before we went on stage, which is in our contract and so forth. So,
right.
There's always, my son's 7, dude, and he has a kid in his class, and I tell him, there's an asshole everywhere you go in life, son. It's good practice.
Right. Well, what was the feeling like the first time, like, someone came up to you and said, they wanted your autograph?
Oh, that's always really flattering. When I was a kid, I used to get people to ask me for their autograph thinking I was Tommy Lee, so I'm kind of used to it. But, it's always very flattering, and I've had some people say some really nice, kind, beautiful things about how my music has impacted their life or helped them through a situation, and, man, that really makes it worthwhile,
Right,
so.
Right. I listened to Till Death Do Us Part this morning, and, I really like the vocals a real lot. It gives that, calming feeling, actually, if you turned out the lights, have a little bit of drink, and just lay back, you can really get into your vocals, and I appreciate that type of music for myself.
Thank you.
So yeah,
I work really hard at vocals. When I was a kid, I knew I wanted to be a singer, and Andrew Wood is the guy who got me really wanting to become a singer. He was the singer of Mother Love Bone, who a lot of people don't know who they are, because what happened was Andrew Wood died, and then they became Pearl Jam, who I'm not a fan of, but Mother Love Bone is amazing.
Right.
And when I first started, I had it in me that I wanted to be a singer, but I had no idea what I was doing, and certainly people weren't like, hey man, let me show you a couple pointers because you really suck. They would just say, you suck. So I just kept going. I didn't stop, and I locked myself away for 2 or 3 years one time and practiced for 5 hours a day, dude, and a piano and everything else, and I worked really hard to be a good singer. It's not something that came easy for me. Just yesterday, I was, I practice vocals on my own, even when the band's not rehearsing. I'll plug in the iPod to the PA, and I have in-ears, and I run it all through my ears, and I sang 36 songs,
wow.
11 Blacklist Union songs and 25 Aerosmith songs, and that helps me keep my chops up, and keeps me in shape, and I just love to do it. I swear to God, man, I'm a huge fan of Vagina, but
cool.
I tell you, man, there's nothing like actually singing music. You know what I mean? It's it's absolutely got to be for me, it's better than sex, for
wow.
real. And it's really kind of weird, but it's true.
Wow.
So.
Do you feel you're blessed that you actually get to do something you love?
I don't know about blessed. It's just I wouldn't do it any other way, dude. I'm not going to sell myself short on what I feel I want to do with my life, and I think a lot of people do that because, the way society is made and stuff, and they kind of make people believe that that's what you have to do.
Right.
Instead of following your dreams and your aspirations and so forth, I've always been one to kind of just follow, my heart. So.
Cool. Now, in June, supposedly you have a new release coming. Can you tell me anything about that?
Yeah, it's going to be called Back to Momo's.
Okay.
Momo is a whorehouse in Hollywood that I was caught at by an ex. And so the cat was out of the bag. So what better rock name for a CD than Back to Momo's?
Oh, definitely.
I'm really excited to do another CD. I love to write. We got some great songs that are going to be on there. Womb with a View is one. Back to Momo's is one. Out on a Jones is another one. But some good stuff.
Cool. Well, Tony West, Blacklist Union, I appreciate you talking to me today, and I love the CD, and I guess apparently everybody else does with all them 5 stars. Congratulations. And would you like to say anything to the fans out there?
Just, spread the word, man. If you like real rock, you'll definitely love Blacklist Union. It's, no holds barred, unfiltered rock and roll,
Cool.
And let me know if you want a couple shirts or whatever. We'll send some stuff out to you. Just send me an email.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Okay, man.
Bye-bye.
Bye.